Yeah, as I was saying, the kings of the earth and the kings of the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the devil, the adversary, and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem, because everybody saw us higher than them. But as you read, the Most High had accomplished his fury. The Lord, Aish, the Lord had accomplished his fury. He had poured out his fierce anger, and had kindled a fire in Zion, and it had devoured the foundations thereof, meaning the people. That's why the kings thought, like, how can the adversary and the enemy come into Jerusalem and just break them down? This is why. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests. Iniquity means sin upon sin. Sins is the transgression of the law. So they broke the laws. The prophets broke the laws. The priests commit iniquities. They have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her. So they was killing practically the righteous ones. You could say the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They have wandered as blind men in the streets. You know what I'm saying? They have wandered as blind men, meaning they're not blind, but they walk just like they're blind. They're basically stupid, you could say. They have polluted themselves with blood. And the scripture says, do not pollute the land with blood, for it will be cleansed with the blood of the one that actually did the bleeding. I'm not saying it right, but you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. They have polluted themselves with blood, so that men could not touch their garments. They were so bloody that other people didn't want to touch them. They was like, ew, get out of here, you fool, you bloody beast. They cried unto them, depart ye, it is unclean. Depart, depart, touch not. When they fled away and wandered, they said among the heathen, they shall no more sojourn here. So when we was fleeing, and when the Most High kicked us out of that place, out of that land, out of the foundation, out of Zion, when he poured upon us, when he had poured out his fierce anger upon us, we went to the other nations and dwelled among them. But the other nations said, they said among the heathen, they shall no more sojourn there, because the heathen said, ew, they're dirty, depart from me, touch not, you're filthy, you're unclean. When they fled away and wandered, because we was fleeting away, and we wandered around in the other nations, and we sojourned among the other nations. Verse 16. The anger of the Lord had divided them. He will no more regard them. He was like, man, whatever. I ain't gonna back y'all up no more. You could say I don't regard you as my son, even though you are his son. But he just doesn't regard you. He just doesn't give you props. Let's put it like that. Not that the Most High would give us props, but let me give another example. He just didn't regard you. Okay, I think you know what that means in the English. He just didn't regard you. You're not my son anymore. Yeah. Take heed. Scat. The anger of the Lord had divided them. He will no more regard them. They respected not the persons of the priests, because the Israelites, they didn't respect the priests. I'm saying the holy ones, the ones that I think it was probably the Levites. I think. I'm not sure, but the priests, because the Levites were the priests, right? So I think it's talking about the Levites. They favored not the elders. They didn't favor the older ones. They didn't listen to them. They didn't take their advice. Nothing. They was just wicked. Those were probably the 2/3, and these were the righteous priests and the righteous elders. They didn't have respect for them, and they didn't listen to them. They didn't hold them up as being elders, the wise ones. Verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help in our watching we have watched for a nation that would not save us. Now, as for our eyes, I got a translation for that, because I already read it, but I'm going to read it right here. We are still straining our eyes, trying in vain to help. We waited and waited for a nation that didn't save us. Just as the scripture said in Jeremiah 15 and 5, it says, Jeremiah 15 and 5, for who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? And who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? So they was practically waiting in vain and screaming for help and watching, but no nation would come and save them. It says they was all laughing, according to Psalms chapter 83, verse 1 on down to verse 8. For they have confederated against thee, and all nations are against us: Edom, Ishmael, Hamites, Ammon, Moab, Amalek of Edom, which is separately named, named separately, because he's going to be taken out like his own dung. Verse 18. So this is talking about no nation would help us, and they was looking for and with their eyes and in vain. Verse 18. They hunt our steps, meaning they was hunting them, tracking them down. Yeah, tracking them down. They hunt our steps, because if just like in snow, and I was like maybe walking a kilometer or a mile, and somebody was hunting my steps, then he would follow my steps. So this is, they hunt our steps, that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. And that was prophesied, that their end was come. So that's why they was talking about their end is come and their days are near, because this was the beginning of the end of Jerusalem. Our perspectors are swifter, our persecutors, I mean. It goes back to they hunt our steps. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of heaven, because they was real quick to get them. The Most High put that first spirit on them just to get them. They pursued us upon the mountains. They followed after us. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. They ambushed us. Verse 20. The breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord. The anointed of the Lord is talking about the king. Our king. Yep, of the king of Israel. You know what I'm saying? It's not talking about the Lord Yahweh Shai. It's not talking about the Messiah. The Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. It's not talking about him. It's talking about the king. Where is it? The breath of our nostrils. The breath of our nostrils is talking about. See, this goes back to the breathing of breath in the nostrils of Adam. right? It wasn't talking about he was breathing because Adam couldn't breathe. It's talking about the wisdom, the glory of them. You can find it over here. The person the Lord anointed as king, who is the breath of our life. See? It's talking about that. See, I'm using another translation too, because that one is pretty good. It's not always 100% accurate, but it explains you a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my little secret. You can see it. Actually, I didn't want to pull it out, but anyway, sometimes I gotta pull it out. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, the Lord, the breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, because he was put captive too. Of whom we said, under his shadow we shall live among the heathen. Under his shadow, under his rule, we can live among the heathen. You know what I'm saying? The Most High ain't gonna jack us up like that. You know what I'm saying? They put their faith in men. Let's put it like that. Because the Most High said, he who put his faith in men, I'm just paraphrasing, but the thing is, you're not supposed to put, yeah, cursed be he who put his faith in man. Man. Okay? Lamentations verse 4 and 21. Rejoice. See? Now, here, you can see that it's talking about the devil. Because it said in Lamentations chapter 4 verse 12, it said, the kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the devil, the adversary, and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. Now here's when you can see it. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom. See, he's the devil. He's Satan. He's the adversary. You know what I'm saying? He's the deceiver. Devil is deceiver. Satan is adversary. You know what I'm saying? That's what I have learned. And it's true because it says it right here. Satan, the profoundly evil adversary. Okay? Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also. Let me see what cup says. Yeah, whatever. The cup full of wine. Yeah, this is it. The fury of the Lord, his drink. And you know how you can see that? That the cup is talking about fury. I'm gonna just check it real quick. You can check that in Revelations chapter 14 and 10. Wait a minute, let me get it quick. Revelations 14 and 10. We can check that. I'm gonna check that real quick. You know what I'm saying? To prove that the wrath of his his cup is wrath. That cup is talking about wrath. The cup also shall be passed through unto thee. And that cup is talking about what you read from verse 1 to verse 20. That cup. Okay, Revelation chapter 10, chapter 14, verse 10. The same shall drink of the wine of, see, the wine of the wrath of the Most High, of God, of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Now, if you don't know what indignation means, I looked it up, of course, and I got it from the elders, but I looked it up anyway. Aroused anger. Well, that's not. Well, that's it also. Aroused anger. Something that makes you arouse is a reaction. If you see some. Oh, it explains to you. Anger. I said it wrong. Salakia. I read too quick. Anger aroused by something unjust, mean, and unworthy. It actually means this. Where it says it. strong displeasure at something considered unjust, offensive, insulting, or base. Righteous anger.